And well, hi there, everyone. How's it going? It's Wednesday night with Katrina. We're gonna make a bet. We're also gonna make straight bets. We're gonna talk about betting. Are you ready to talk about betting in this video, Katrina?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have the resources to come up with good picks. Now we just need to bet appropriately with what we expect we want to have happen. And so I've added something to the round robin file, which I love to use, and I love to put a lot of different picks inside round robins.
Mhm.
I'm doing it on the screen right now. But what's funny is you can tie these things all together in big bets, but if you want less variance and you want more reliability and you don't want to lose your bankroll entirely every day if you have a bad day, the way it happens with a round robin, you can do it in straight bets. So I'm going to talk about the straight bets that I came up with from the two files today, from hockey and from NBA, and what they pay and why I made them. And then we'll track what happens here because you can just change whether or not these picks win or lose over here. And you can see that if you wagered, I have 7 picks today. If you wager evenly on all of them and you get all of them right, you end up with almost 200% ROI for the day. I believe that's what that says.
Mhm.
Um, looks like it. The lines are, some of them are really good, some of them are just okay. So here's what they are. First, we'll talk about hockey. So hockey, we joke around. I talk about playing the draw. When the algorithm says a game is super, super close, I like to pay the draw because it pays more than 3-1. And this is exemplified appropriately in the straight betting file rather than a round robin. Because if you lose this on a round robin, you get punished by a product of a factor of a multiple of other picks that are associated with this. When this is a straight bet, you either hit it and you hit over 3-1. In this case, it's 3.2-1 is what the draw pays in that game today. So that's on there because I do think it hits 1 out of 3 times or better when I call it based on the limited sample that I started keeping track of recently, but also just anecdotally because I just remember hitting these, and so it's a fun one to root for also, and it pays
Mhm.
really well. Okay, so that's pick number one. The other hockey pick is the number one pick of the day, which is your favorite city. What's your favorite city?
Tampa Bay.
Well, of course. The Lightning's playing a really bad team in Anaheim, but it is in Anaheim. The line's only minus 154 now, is what I just found on FanDuel, 152. Oh, it's minus 152. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Let me just pause for a second. Their line to win is minus 145 or something. I took them minus 1.5 at plus 152 because it pays better. And while it is tougher to hit, the algorithm has this as the number one pick of the day, and they're supposed to win by more than a couple goals. And Anaheim's not a good team, so the chances of that happening if they win are good. That they don't even need overtime to do it. That they do it in regulation with maybe an empty net if they have to. So that's the second hockey pick. Nothing on Edmonton, St. Louis, because the line for St. Louis is just not good enough. It's only about even money, and this game could go either way. So we're just staying away from that one. All right. So we have 2 hockey picks. Now let's talk NBA. NBA has a cool different way of looking at it in 2 different versions based on last year's stats, which is this look, or current season stats. And I like using current season stats the best because I think it's appropriate to move right now. I think it's ready to go. It's got a lot of home teams in here. It's got some interesting things. It's got the Hornets upsetting the Knicks. It's got this game down, but these are all really, really low margin games. So all these games here, which is Denver, Charlotte, Minnesota, Chicago, and Raptors, they could all go either way. So what you do here is you take teams that have great lines or with points. And that was Charlotte and San Antonio I focused on. You could even take Indiana plus 7.5, but I'm just not that much of a fan of Indiana. The Bulls just knocked off the Celtics, and I don't want to play the Indiana game. But Spurs. So what I did here, if you look at the straight bet sheet, is we took the Spurs to win. I found it at plus 370, great line, and also Spurs plus 10 points. So you get both sides of this. If they lose the game by less than 10 points, you're going to about break even on those 2 bets. You're going to lose a small amount. But if they win the game, you really get paid. And the algorithm says they can. Yesterday, Oklahoma City Thunder did a similar thing and won the game. It's doing the same thing with the Hornets. Plus 260 and plus 7.5 minus 108. So once again, if they lose the game by less than 7.5, you almost break even. But if they lose, you lose both bets. If they lose by more than that, but the algorithm likes that being a close game. The other one is the Milwaukee Bucks I took to win because they're all the way up here. They're healthy. They have a reasonable line. And I believe they were in both versions. Let's take a look at the last season version for a second. Yep, they're still here with a 5% margin. It's a little closer, but I'm going more on the side of the current season. So I thought that was a reasonable line for one of these games up here. Cleveland line was minus 300. It's too much. The Portland game, you could try this. And that's another one that you could take. It's good enough, but in the other version, it didn't have Portland. So that's kind of why I stayed away, as we still have conflicting versions and stuff going on right now. But you could add it on there. And if you do, you could get up to 179% ROI if you got all 8 of these picks right. So that's the look. That's the straight bet. You can buy a copy of this round robin straight bet parlay file, and work on this thing and put your picks in here. And if you lose a game, it'll start to change your payout and what your ROI is. You can see how many you need to hit. You're going to have to hit 5, go at least 5 and 3, and depending on which ones we hit, if you hit some of these big ones, you'll see how really valuable they are at those amazing lines, because lines are important. So what questions you got for me, Katrina?
I guess we'll see how it works out. Have you been comparing? Have you been doing the straight bets or not?
I know I still don't. I still just do a round robin for the day and then go on do other work on stocks, work whatever, just watch the games. Because if you do straight bets, the thing about doing straight bets also on FanDuel is you have this ability to cash out at every second of the game. So it makes you tied to everything going on. And I'm just staring at my phone all night and it's too much. But you can do it. I mean, if I was going to sit down with like some big money and do something like throw like $1,000 on the Rangers Islanders tie or something like that, there will be periods in the game where maybe in the second period the score of this game is 2-2 or something, and they'll offer me $1,800 to cash out immediately and not try to hit my 4,000 that I'm trying to hit, right? If you get paid. So yeah, in that sense, it makes sense to pay attention to the game and to take advantage of disproportionate cash outs that are offered. I haven't tried that because I just don't have the stones for it. I still don't like losing. So I like I don't like losing a lot of money. I like losing small amounts of money. And I do these round robin things. That's all I did today. I did these round robin things, like something like this. I did it for even less, like under $50. Like I did something like this where it does pay like $5,000 if I hit all 7 of my picks still, which is exciting to me. That is still exciting. But I'm probably not gonna hit all 7, and I didn't do these ones exactly. I did some other ones, but there was a payout where it was I think it was like a $35 bet that pays about $4,000 or $5,000 because I have a draw on there. I do have the Spur underdog on there. I have the Hornet underdog. So if all those things come in, it's an amazing night, and that's fun for me. But we'll see how the straight bet perspective goes because I haven't tracked that long term, and I haven't done this many algorithms in the past. So it'll be interesting to follow this. We'll see what happens. Yep. So go Hornets, go Spurs. If one of those underdogs wins, it's a good night for the NBA algorithm, straight bet wise, for sure. If just one of those wins. And the Hornets are favored in both versions, which is kind of interesting. It's because the Knicks are at home and they have a better reputation. So anyway, I'm going to publish the video, get it out to people, and good luck, everyone. Mail your picks. Be winning. Yes.